5, 4, 3, 2. Alright guys, welcome to the Media Hijack Podcast. I'm your host, Billy Walters, and joining me is Chris Unholy Jesus.
What's up, fam? Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Media Hijack, episode 191. If you guys want to get some official Media Hijack t-shirts, I think Chris has his on today.
I do.
He sure do. There he is. Nice. You can head over to the MediaHijack.com, grab you some official Media Hijack t-shirts. Also, you can catch the replay for this live Twitch video. You can head over to YouTube, and then catch the replay for this live Twitch video. And for audio listeners, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, give us that 5-star frog splash. And that's it.
Yeah.
Welcome. Welcome, guys. So, our first story of the night, we're going to be talking about the legend of the Durandal sword. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, the Durandal sword.
Durandal. But before we start, I want to talk about my dream real quick, because it was a crazy dream. So, the other night, a few nights ago, I was at the airport, right? And I came across an Asian guy with a black suit. And he was like, you ever had cocaine before? I was like, no, that's a weird question. And then he was like, you want to try some? I was like, yes. So he was like, because I was curious. I was like, I've never tried it, but I was always curious. And in my dream, I was like, I didn't know it was a dream, but I was like, holy shit, I'm gonna take this opportunity to experience this moment right now. It could have been, I don't know, it could have been what's that drug that killed people?
Fentanyl.
Yeah, but there's another one where they send in the mail.
Oh, anthrax?
Anthrax. It could have been like some anthrax.
And that's a throwback. Oh my god. Yeah,
so he put some cocaine on his thumb, right? I was like, okay, this is weird, because I'm sniffing it off his thumb. And then I was like, damn, that's crazy. And then I told him, I was like, so when does it kick in? He was like, it's gonna kick in soon. And dude, the crazy thing in the dream, I felt so much pressure in my forehead, right? And then I had a burst of energy. It felt real as shit. It really felt like I was on a drug, because the only way I can describe it is if you ever took Adderall and stuff, it was like Adderall times 3, and it was strong. I was like, holy shit! I was like, I missed out on cocaine this whole time. Cocaine makes you feel like this, and it was crazy because I felt it in the dream. So I don't know, my brain created that that feeling of being high on a drug,
man.
But it felt so real, dude. I woke up and I was like, what the fuck was that?
Like a boost to energy.
Yeah.
And then did you wake up out the dream after that, or?
Yeah, I woke up and I was like, did I just use cocaine in the dream? Yeah, I woke up and I was awake, but when I was awake, it's it didn't feel like I was on a drug, but the idea of me in the dream using the drug, I still remember how it felt.
Yeah, that rush.
I was like, holy shit. And then I told him in the dream, right, before it was over. And then, because he was trying to sell drugs, so he was like, I told him, I was like, how much for the rest of it? Because he had a little baggie, right? I was like, hey, how much for the rest of it? He was like, $1,600. I was like, oh, fuck.
Man, what?
I was like, I can't afford that. I'm at the airport, man. But if I knew it was a dream, I probably would have bought it.
Damn.
Yeah. I was like, say no more. Let me get
the limit.
Let me get this unlimited wallet.
All right. So now we can have my dreams.
Yeah. You guys got Cash App in this world?
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, can I get your number?
Yeah, but that was crazy. The crazy part is it felt new to me. Right. The feeling. So now I'll start to think. I was overthinking it, because I was like, maybe there's some divine intervention going on, and somebody in that world is trying to play me to catch my curiosity, right? So when I wake up in the real world, in real life, I would search for that cocaine.
Right.
Because they're trying to send me to another path, a dark path. They're like, let's put him on that drug path. Either he's going to sell drugs, or he's going to be a drug user. And we just want to put a few more speed bumps in his way, because I don't like how he's living his life right now.
His life be lifing.
I just don't like how he's moving right now. I'm going to stir some shit up. Just fucking give him cocaine in his dream.
His life is too calm.
Yeah.
His life is too calm right now.
Put the little seed in his head, Hey, it can feel like this.
Like, damn, it look like he's happy. Let's make him to an addict. Like,
Fuck him up. Give him meth too.
Right? Give him meth on top of that. A meth sandwich.
Till his teeth falls out. But yeah, that's the dream that I'll never forget.
Interesting.
On to the main topic for the night with Chris Unholy.
All right, man. Let's get to it, man. I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm giving y'all a heads up. Spoiler alert. This story's gonna swing into politics at the end. I apologize, but there is a theory going on about why this sword went missing. It's gonna make sense a little bit when I explain it. It's
okay.
Crazy. All right, so the also what did I get? What is that website? Also, I got this story off of All Things Interesting. Check it out, guys. They ain't paying me for nothing, but they got some good ass stories. Love them. I got on it and I immediately found this story because they have like a lot of strange shit, almost like what we talk about on the show. But
yeah, I like that.
Got catalogs of this stuff. All right, so the Durandal sword, the mythic Excalibur of France, has vanished from its resting place after hundreds of years. So this sword that was like in the southern French village of Rocamadour, I think it's called Rocamadour, commonly known as the French Excalibur, has recently vanished from the stone and has been stuck inside of. So the story is like this is like France's King Arthur Excalibur sword. It was stuck in like this rock, like 30 feet above the ground, and it was tied to a chain as well, and it's basically just stuck in place. And the story goes, because it's been up there for like 1,300 years, but the story goes is that the sword went missing. Where this guy, his name was like Roland. He was actually like some kind of like warrior back in the day. He actually fought for like King Charlemagne and all that, and he fought in his battles. But in one of his last battles, he actually got struck down in combat. And the story goes that when he was falling in combat, he tried to smash the fucking sword on the rock, and it didn't work because the sword was given to him by the king himself. And the king said he got the sword from angels, and it's supposed to be like this most mystical, indestructible sword, and it could just strike down anybody, it could cut through anything. And so when he gave it to Roland,
it can cut God.
Cut a god with it, everything. And so that's when Roland, when he got the sword, he actually he used it in combat, and when he was about to get killed in combat, he tried to break the sword on a rock, but since it was indestructible, he couldn't break it. So he actually wound up throwing the sword into the air right when he was getting struck down in combat and died, and the sword just flew like hundreds of miles away and embedded itself into a rock where it was then stuck there for 1,300 years. And so this mythical sword is... Yeah.
Is that the folklore behind it, or was it like a real story?
Yeah, that's the folklore behind it, but that's the story is real of itself because the fight that was going on back then, basically the French. This was like the French was back then was. This is all doing, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Crusades, where the Crusades was basically Western civilization was pushing Christianity all across the world, and they was like struggling to push across the Middle East because the Middle East was like, hey, keep you and your white Jesus over there. Why are you trying to push this on us? We believe in a different type of thing, and that's what started the whole Crusades. And the Crusades went on for like centuries, man, like centuries and centuries and centuries. And it's always been just skirmishes here and there, but over time, the Western civilization wound up taking over the most part of the Middle East at one point, actually up until Israel. Until the Muslims actually came back one night, and the capital of I think it's Tel Aviv, or I think it might be called Tel Aviv now, but the capital of Israel right now was where the Western civilization took over, and eventually the Muslims way back then took out the Western civilization and then pushed them out. Because they all fight for the Holy Land. That's all it is. They fight for the Holy Land. That was the whole point of the Crusades. They try to take over the Middle East because they went to the land of Jesus, and the Muslims saying like, no, this is our land because we've been here way before you got here, white man. So take you and your Christianity somewhere else. And that's why right now the Middle East and America always butt heads. That's why I still think the Crusades never really ended. It just changed. We just use bombs now. We're not using swords anymore with this shit. But it's still all the same thing to me. But so anyways, so that's what Roland was fighting in one of these wars. And his whole part of fighting these wars was to kill Muslims, which is why I'm going to get into a little bit why this might tie into politics and why the sword is missing.
Like it just recently got missing, right?
Yeah, it just went missing. Like I think it says on July 1st, the French newspaper La Dépêche hope I pronounced that right, broke the story that the Durandal had gone missing. Initial police investigators concurred that it was theft. First noticed on June 22nd, so this is like just a couple weeks ago. They had noticed it. The mayor of that town, Dominique Levant, he said, "We will miss Durandal. Says it would be part of the Rocamadour for centuries. There's not a single guide who does not show this during their visits. So it's a popular spot in the town, and even it's a money-making spot too. You got tourists crossing through it.
So you can see this sword like in public, right? That is viewable from the public.
Yeah, you just like walk up there and you see it. And it's like on a cliffside, like embedded in a rock, and there's a chain holding it into the rock as well too.
The crazy thing, I would imagine after 1,300 years, some kid would have got so curious and just went up there and be like, I'm gonna take this sword for myself a long time ago.
Right.
But
yeah.
now,
let me make that a step. But it's 30 feet up though. That's high. That's high.
Super high.
Yeah.
It was on like a mountain cliff, right? I think from what I read, it was like on a mountain.
Yeah, it's like a cliff town. It's like the town itself is actually on the side of a cliff. It looks beautiful while I was looking at pictures of it. It looks like a gorgeous place to live. Just a cliffside town, and it's like embedded on the side of a cliff and 30 feet up. Chained too, so somebody really wanted that damn thing. Says now the town has been left wondering how exactly the sword could have been stolen, given that it was embedded for the stone for more than 30 feet off the ground and chained to it. Security around the sword has always been tight too. When it was displayed in an exhibit at a colony museum in 2011, they had tight security then too. So it wasn't like this place the sword's never protected. It doesn't have security around it as well. So now everybody's saying like, well, if y'all got tight security, who took it? This sword or whatever. But it's mythical sword. I have a theory who I think it is, I think that, and I'm glad this article mentioned this too. Who could have stolen this sword? So right now in France, actually not even France, because this article also mentions that there's rumors going on. There's political motivation behind it because on a global level right now, right-wing fascism is on the rise, and by I mean that the most basic way I can explain what right-wing fascism is. Nazis. That's basically just what they are at this point. They straight Nazis through and through. And there's a huge rise of them right now on a global level. Brazil just dodged a bullet from Jair Bolsonaro. He's a Nazi, but he's a Brazilian Nazi, which a lot of Nazis ended up in South America after the World War II, but that's a whole nother damn podcast episode. But he's like one of them Nazi folks who's trying to get basically just trying to get some shit going on to create a fascist country. Germany dodged the bullet not too long ago because their government and people came out and voted to stop the fascism in their country. And France yesterday, or was it the day before, one of these days, they just prevented Nazis from taking over their country in the government, all because the politicians and basically this is the president, Emmanuel Macron. He's the president of France. He basically had to rally with another political group and team up just to defeat the Nazis that almost won in their presidential elections. They almost, not the presidential elections, like parliament elections or whatever. They almost won that shit. For meaning that the Nazis almost took over the whole country. Damn. Italy almost had a situation where Nazis almost took over the government through an election. So America's kind of going through right now with Project 2025, which I don't know if you ever looked it up, man. Look that shit up. That shit is fucking horrifying. Oh my God. And that's a whole nother issue America got to deal with. So a lot of countries right now.
Is that like beyond Agenda 21, what we talked about a long time ago?
Yes, it's beyond that. This is like, hey, if you don't believe in Jesus, you're gonna die. That's gonna be the end game to it to me. They already trying to put 10 commandments in. They just put the 10 commandments in school in Louisiana, but these kids can't fucking read in these schools. They're trying to like you better believe in our Jesus and no other Jesus.
Why they playing with my boy Jesus like that?
Man, right. Boy, they better pump the brakes on this. It's getting scary. So there's a huge rise in fascism right now on a global level, and France is no example. And the reason why some people are saying that this might be politically tied because that sword that was used by Roland back then was used to kill Muslims, and they see it as a symbolism of fighting Muslims and Nazis and stuff. That there's a nice, like almost like a Nazi ideology and Christian rule and all this other stuff. And so they think that somebody from this Nazi party stole it and they have it now. Also, I say this too because we talked about it before, where Nazis have a thing with trying to hunt down relics. This is a thing that's
Exactly.
been going back since World War II, maybe even longer than that. They always are looking for relics. Now, whether these relics are actually mystical in nature or not, who knows? But they always have been looking for like the Holy Grail type stuff, Ark of the Covenant, like going to Egypt. Like they've gone around globally trying to find artifacts. And maybe they might know something about the occult, like we don't know, but they're always looking for it. So this sword's missing now. I think it's Nazis. I think it's tied to a whole bigger thing. It's all connected in this Nazi.
You
shit
think
going
the
on.
sword has like magical properties?
They might know, man. This is the occult, man. Because we gotta remember too, the Nazis are big on the occult, man. That's nothing. That's the days that they have castles where they used to have like stuff where they did worship and like hellholes, like we talked about last week, like just spots
Right.
where
I
they're
don't
trying to
think.
always summon demons. And it
Yeah,
could be possible, man. They might know some shit we don't know. Who knows?
yeah, I don't think all of it was all made up. I'm pretty sure a lot was made up, but I don't think all of it was made up. I think all of it holds like some truth, even like with magic, because they're still doing that shit today. Like with the whole
Yeah, I know.
everything with magic and shit, they talk about magic this, magic that. But the one thing like I read about like this story where they say like it's a sacred relic. They hold like they said that sword right has like the tooth of Saint Peter, and the blood of Saint Basil, and then the hair of Saint Denise, and then a piece of
Yeah,
remnant from the Virgin Mary, all within that sword.
yeah.
So these are like, I guess,
Saint Peter, I think he sits. I think he sits at the gate to heaven. So they got all the.
yeah, they're like, damn, this sword got a lot of magic on it. And then like whoever holds this sword, who's ever wielding this sword, can cut anybody, and it's
Yeah.
it's
The king said it was
unbreakable.
given
You
to.
can't break
The
it.
king said. Was that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can't break it. Like how you said he was trying to break it, he couldn't break it.
Yeah. So he had to throw that shit, and it flew across like hundreds of miles and landed up on damn cliffside where it was chained down. And Nazis are like, bet, like, bet 30 feet, cool. Let me get this ladder right quick.
Well, shit. I think they left it up there for that long on purpose until the time was right, where the
But
times was changing, where whatever, where when everything is shifting into the right direction, they're like, all right, when this happens, go grab that sword, and this is gonna be the
Right.
sign. Because
The
when
time is now.
they're like, when this sword goes missing, that means we shifted into like plan, whatever the next plan in our whatever we're gonna do next.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure, like in the Vatican, right, they got documents that they can't open until like you cannot open this until 2030, or like
Oh,
you
yeah.
cannot open this until we get the first black president, and then you can open this. You have stuff
Right.
like that, like
Right. Like don't like them. Like you see, like don't break glass unless it's an emergency type shit. Like
right. They're like, all right, don't open this box until the first official alien landed and it's shown across the world. Like, all right, now you can open this seal. What to do next? It could get that weird.
hell yeah.
So I think the sword going missing, it just might be a sign to the world, like, all right, and then the people who know the meaning of it, they're like, all right, phase 2 or phase 100,000, next
Right.
step. And then
Hell
that
yeah.
chosen one, right? Like he's waiting his whole life. It's like maybe in his 60s now. It's like, oh shit, that's my cue.
Right.
He puts his gear on and shit. Like,
Hey, time to go.
I've waited 60 years for this.
Put my helmet on. Like,
This is my cue. Sword is gone.
This is
All
my-
right.
it's my calling.
He puts his badge on and is like, beep, clocked in.
Right.
And now he's like, he's doing
He's
his
like
real
swiping.
mission. Yeah. It's just like the real mission just started. And then he quit his job at like Home Depot.
Right. I'm clocked in with Jesus now.
Yeah, like little did we know, the guy at Home Depot was actually like damn, I don't know, world guardian leader,
Right.
living a normal life.
He's a Walmart greeter.
Yeah, then he got the word on the street. Sword is missing. I'm in.
He's like, yes, I was
Put
destined
me
for
in,
this.
coach.
I'm ready to play
Yeah,
today.
that's crazy. 1,300 years now, it's mysteriously vanished.
Vanished, man. That's why, like, when I was reading this article about it, it was like possible political motivations. Before I even read the rest of it, I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, and they just stopped these Nazis in an election out there. Like just 2 days ago, they just beat them in an election, and they was like lost their shit. They almost won too.
Wait, so
they
there's a group that's marketed as the Nazis?
This like straight up. This is like all their rhetoric is all Nazi talk, and it's like they go by a different name, but it's still a Nazi. No matter how you want to look at it, they got Nazi talk. They speak on like French nationalists, which is like another like in America it'd be like white nationalists or whatever. It's like basically white folks that want to push out all brown folks and start killing folks if it gets to that point, and want to indoctrinate their kids, because these are the same group of people too who sit around and bitch and cry about like if a teacher is gay, that means automatically they're grooming their student. But now they're trying to, but these same people are now trying to implement the 10 Commandments in schools, and they're trying to bring God back into schools, and they want God in the government. They want to live in a theocracy. They're like, hey, like if you like where the law and where the law and the Bible kind of become one and the same if they run things. That's why a lot of people are scared about Project 2025, because if they're able to combine the law and the Bible in one and the same, they can start getting weird with some shit, man. They already weird with the Bible already, and it's not even a law, but they twist shit up already with the Bible. Imagine what they could do is the Bible and the law combined, where hey, well, God says you have to be like this, so by law you have to abide by these rules, and that's how they're trying to swing things, and it's getting kind of funky right now on a global level, man. It's getting crazy.
Yeah, it gets really messy once you start pushing religion on people.
Dude, yeah. I was watching a video yesterday, like last night, and it's talking about like how religion, at least in America, is like plummeting right now. It is plummeting, man, to the point where a lot of these small towns that was mainly like just religion is all they had, their population is dipped down to like less than 100 people, because a lot of people who have gotten older, like millennials gotten older, they done moved out and went to college and never came back and then just stayed somewhere else. So a lot of these small towns, their church people are like 4 people in these churches, and eventually they slowly have to close down because religion is turning a lot of people off because it's getting too aggressive, and it's getting too muddy. It's why it's like people starting to notice it's kind of like digging its way into politics, and it's like, why? Y'all can believe what y'all want, but stay out this shit. It's because it has to be 2 separate things. Because if you do, it's gonna get nasty. It's gonna get bad. So separate this
messy.
shit.
Forcing religion, period. It's messy. It's not good. That's how wars happen.
Yeah, religion by itself, without the law, is messy. Like shit, you want to bring the law into it?
That shit. Ain't no way, right? God wrote all that in a book.
Ain't no way.
You have to have some common sense. Man wrote a lot of that.
A whole lot. Now, granted, the Bible does have some solid lessons in it.
It does.
About like
it's a lot of good lessons, like the main lessons. Be good, treat your neighbor well, whatever. Take care of each other, blah, blah, blah. Fine, we got that.
Mm-hmm.
But all the other extra stuff where it's like, hey, these rules are kind of hard to like abide by.
Right. Now y'all just...
You're like, you guys make me feel dirty.
It's like, man, it's one of them things where like somebody says something weird, you like, man, nobody was even talking about that. Why y'all bringing this up? Nobody said anything about it, but what? It makes you look at, to me, that's how I look at it. I'm like, man, when nobody talk about masturbation, why y'all...
Yeah, put that dick down. No masturbation.
Like, when nobody talking about it, but y'all...
Put it down. You're going to hell. Like,
put the dick away.
What the hell, man? What's going on? Yeah. You gotta have some common sense too. Like, ain't no way all of that is word of God. That's why that's why you can't force religion, man. Because how do you know? How do you even know, right?
You don't. That's why it's called a belief. It's what you believe, man. It's not called a fact.
Personally, I do believe in a higher being. I just know it. I know there's something there. I don't know what you call it, but I know there's something. When you're done here, there's definitely something. 100%. That I know that's true.
And me, I don't know. I hope there is, but I don't know. I used to be Catholic, then I went atheist, and now it's kind of like, well, I'm not going to commit to both sides because I don't think anybody really knows. But I hope it'd be cool if it's something. I'm not against it.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever you believe, because
I hope so.
Because there's like I've been listening to a lot of people that had near-death experience, like what they said happened after they died for a short moment and then they came back. There was like an Asian guy, right? He didn't believe in anything. He was an atheist. He said, I don't believe in nothing. And then he did actually have like a near-death experience when he passed away and came back. He came back, and you know what he said?
What?
He said there was nothing. He's like, I didn't see nothing. It's like, everything was black. I saw nothing. It was black. I came back. But then I hear other stories where people, they did have a belief in a higher being. And when they did passed on, like they saw their God, that they believed that God is what their God is.
Right.
And they had like a whole nother experience. So I think whatever like you believe in, when you do pass on, this is just your brain creating your vision of what the other world is like.
Right.
But it is something like real, but it's catered towards you to make it easy for you to understand.
Yeah, I know in the TV show Supernatural, they kind of did it in a way very similar to that. It was like, because it was like, in one part of the series, they was always asking like, well, what's heaven like? What's heaven like? The main characters were, and angels would tell them like, well, heaven is what you've always envisioned, like a happy moment in life that kind of always stuck out to you. It's by your design. It's like it's like your own little pocket universe. It isn't like everybody's walking on clouds. Shit. It's like a pocket world that you exist in. It's something like you get to live out your greatest hits sometimes, if you live long enough, sometimes and stuff. And it was like, oh, cool. That's kind of, I like that. Heaven is what you create out of it, I guess. I mean, I like it.
It's all. I think it's all in your head. Like whatever you think, that's what it is. And this shit is crazy because like even like in some like I think Disney or Pixar shows, the one where the dude is like a black guy, he plays like jazz music, and then he passed away, right? Like suddenly he passes away. What was that?
Soul? I've never seen it. I heard that was
Soul.
good.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah,
I heard it was good.
And then like he passed away, and then he meets like this higher being, and then she's like whatever how she looked like. She's like, oh yeah, we just look like this, so you won't trip out and think we're crazy because we're just trying to look like to what, to you, to where you can grasp the concept of like, oh, okay, this is like a higher being, but it's not to scare you.
It's more digestible.
More digestible, more easy to comprehend because they're like, we definitely don't look like this.
I wanted to see that movie, man, but I was scared I was going to cry on it. Movies I think I'm going to cry, I try to avoid. I'm like, I don't know, that movie might make me cry. It looks like it's
that shit is real.
It looks good.
Yeah.
It looks good. But yeah, enough about that sword. That was the story for that.
Oh, that's it for that one?
Yeah, the Durandal sword. Unless you had anything else. It wasn't really too much.
No, that's all I got for that one. But I'm gonna take
right.
a quick break, and then I'm gonna do one for the next topic of the night. So Chris' first topic, he talked about a sword that's been trapped for 1,300 years. I got a story about a box that's depicting Moses receiving the 10 Commandments that he discovered from 1,500 years ago. An old box.
Damn.
Where it has like this. It's like a basically a stone showing when Moses received the 10 Commandments. Mm-hmm. It shows Moses like parting the Red Sea. This is all written all on stone. It showed everything. It even showed Jesus. When did Jesus die?
What, 3,000 years ago? I think maybe long. Well, not can be no 3,000 years ago.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's over 1,000 years ago. But
yeah, for sure, it wasn't recent.
It showed Jesus raising from his burial chambers after the crucifixion, and this was all on this stone that was discovered. Yeah.
Damn.
Is that wild?
Jesus.
So, it's actually like a round ivory box, and they said that there's 40 similar discoveries that has been made worldwide, and the last one of its kind has been about 100 years ago when they found something similar like this. So a lead archaeologist, Gerald, emphasizes the rarity, calling it like once in a lifetime discovery. So this is super rare. It's like the ultimate Pokemon Charizard Volume 1 chiseled in stone holographic. Yeah, so yeah. And then the box was found during an excavation of an early Christian church, formerly a pagan sanctuary in the Roman Empire territory. And it was discovered under an altar broken into pieces, originally found with the metal clasps. I don't know what that is.
Like a metal clasp? I don't know.
Yeah, a little clip. But yeah, that's wild. Like our boy Moses.
Man.
Showing out. Here's the 10 Commandments.
Everybody Jesus.
I think the 10 Commandments was all we needed. We didn't need a whole Bible.
Yeah, we don't need a whole book. Just boom. Just it.
Like here's 10 rules. Like live by this, and then your soul can advance. And you guys can, once you die, you can travel to another place. You don't have to keep reincarnating.
It's like, guys, look, this is literally the cheat sheet. Why we got a whole other book? This is, come on, man.
Thou shalt not steal. Where'd this watch come from? Like, all right, you coming back.
The most basic, this is the most humane rules you can follow, and it's still
right. And then they go ahead and they start writing a Bible like after Jesus got crucified. They're like, oh snap, we messed up. All right, let's form a religion. This is what Jesus said, and Jesus, Son of God, we're gonna write a book, and then we're gonna control a whole nation.
Like, we get what you're saying about the 10 Commandments. We get that, but here's our book. Read our book that we're writing.
Read it. Word of
Which
God.
is weird because even though they're trying to put not trying to, they're going to put the 10 Commandments in schools in Louisiana. These same people ain't really following the 10 Commandments. They're just kind of like, okay, well, follow this. Follow this because we're telling you to follow it.
Yeah, it's so messy.
It's messy as shit, man. I believe in us, man. We're gonna figure this out. Humans are gonna figure this shit out one day. We're still new to Earth.
I think Earth is always gonna have challenges. Like if it was so easy, like if everything was figured out, then this would not be the planet, man. No. This planet has to be like advanced, the hardest class to take.
Right. This is it. The last test.
Born in North Korea, like fuck, too hard, back up. Or like born in a freaking cage. Or like I saw this one video on Instagram where this guy, he was cooking, right? Asian guy was cooking food outdoors, and then this chicken, it crawls on the top of the roof, and then the chicken lays an egg on the roof. The egg slides down and then splatters right into like his cooking pan and cooks instantly. I was like, damn.
We talking about fresh out the
I was like, no chance at all. That might be the easiest class. They're like I'm here. Now I'm back in heaven, right? You're back in the spirit realm.
You ever see like some of the people that be like in Instagram videos? They'll do something, and next they're like this background will change to heaven. They
do it to it, and they end up in heaven.
It's like that with that chicken egg. Damn, that's sad.
But yeah, it could be born like that, born into instant death,
Yeah, it could be worse. Could have lived long enough and been slaughtered and turned into Kentucky Fried Chicken. So,
I think the longer you live, it's like a longer lesson, and you need to learn a whole lot more. That's why you're still alive. It's almost like a long class, but you want to graduate early.
Right.
So like the people that they came in and then they clock right out. Oh, he got choked by the umbilical cord. You're like, yes, easy class.
I'm out.
First period done in 30 minutes. I'm out. But then like us, we're actually going through the years, 30 years, 40 years. Our parents, 50, 60, 70 years. I was like, damn.
Advanced.
It's a long class, Mom.
I'm like, y'all like this?
It's a long class. Maybe it's not good to play it safe. Maybe you have to take the risk. So then you probably will die. But then on the other side, like, oh, I beat that stage.
Mm-hmm. Like Mario. Celebrate like Mario.
Like a Mario. But yeah, that's all I got for that.
All right.
1,500 euro box. Yep.
All these damn artifacts.
I love it. What else we got?
Let's see what I got. Oh, I had this Ryan Garcia story. I don't know if I want to talk about that. That motherfucker been tripping.
I'm saying the N-word?
Yeah, man. He got some nerve.
The dude is on so much drugs, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. I know he came out with an apology. He's like on an apology tour right now, I guess, for that. And saw moist ass Oscar de la Hoya stepping out there trying to cover for him. I'm like, I get it. That's your money maker. You gotta do what you gotta do. But
yeah, he really off the rails, dude. I really don't know what's going on with that kid. It's too much.
Me neither, man. He did an apology. Actually, I'll talk about it. Yeah, he did an apology because he said like he's actually gonna start going to rehab. He was like, first and foremost, I want to apologize to the black community, apologize to the Muslim community, basically for my language and my vocabulary. Because obviously I have a big responsibility as a famous athlete and was under the influence, and I'm going through a lot, but I have no excuses. It is, I was just trying to make. Then it says I was trying to be I would just want to be a positive influence now. I'm headed to rehab, and I'm going to make real change in my heart. Like I said, all I can do is do better. And then he talks about how when I was reading an article about it, it sounded like he was trying to throw his people that was on his Twitter space under the bus, saying like they kind of revved him up into doing it to saying it. I don't know,
What?
Mr. Ryan Garcia. That's what he said. Swear to God, I was like, "That's okay, man."
Shit. Be responsible, man. What
Bob
did Bob
says,
says? She says he got to be high to deal with that shit he saw if it did happen in the woods. Yeah, that's another thing, dude. Like, if he did actually got held down and raped or whatever, and then they showed him all the images of the kids getting, R word.
Mhm.
I don't know. Like, maybe whoever's surrounding him, like the people that's around him, maybe they're feeding him like all these drugs, like enticing him to look like a fool, and then they want him to look like a fool. So when he goes on these rages where he goes on Twitter, says all this shit, he just looks like a crazy guy to where no matter what he says after that, no one's gonna believe a word he says. They're just gonna be like automatic crazy because he is being crazy right now with all the drugs. But maybe they're they're setting him up for that. Like, hey, make this guy look like a Looney Tune. Like, make him look crazy as fuck. And then they're going to forget about everything that he said before about how they took him to the woods, tied him up, and do all this crazy shit. Everybody's going to forget about that. They're just going to be like, this dude was crazy the whole time.
He's been crazy from jump. Oh, shit.
Yeah, they're like, nah, he's crazy the whole time. Nothing, there's no credibility no more. Like, he's known as the crazy boxer kid on drugs that go on rants.
Right.
Just like Alex Jones. Once you go crazy where the public think you're crazy like that, no one's going to believe a word you say.
Man, hell no. Because then when he finally went to court, he was like, I'm normal. And it's like, nah, you fucking nuts.
Yeah, like once you go crazy and people see you crazy, it's hard for them to see you normal.
Right.
And Ryan, he's fucking up that image, dude. He's doing all this crazy shit. Yeah.
People on Twitter already call him Racist Garcia. They're not even calling him Ryan Garcia. They're calling him Racist Garcia.
Basically, dude. Yeah. He's off the hinge right now.
I mean, I'll be honest. With him, like him saying the N-word, like maybe younger unholy Jesus would have been pissed off about that. But as I gotten older, I'm thinking about people who have like this anti-black opinion, or I'm like, that only got as a word, I guess. So I know that doesn't really bother me anymore. So him saying the N-word, like I know that's what everyone focused on. Like, oh, that's what got him in trouble. For me, I was more upset with him with his rhetoric because I know he was talking about how like, and he brings up the same thing that a lot of anti-black people like to bring up, like they really care, like Chicago, black on black crime, all this type of violence and stuff. And it's like, okay, if this is a problem, because when they bring it up and they get dragged in the mud for saying it, a lot of people, including like Ryan Garcia, will start saying like, oh well, I'm just saying because I think it's a real issue in the black community and it should be addressed. And I don't make light of the situation. But then if you go and ask them, well, what are you doing about the situation? They can't say it because they're not really doing anything about it. They're just sitting online bitching and complaining and just trying to say really anti-black rhetoric. And the reason why it's funny because it's like when people talk like that, they make it seem like that violence against your own people is like like a black thing only. Which I can give like dozens of examples of like races on a global level fucking committing genocide on each other, Holocaust. But you know what I'm saying? Like, but other races doing awful shit to each other. So violence against your own race isn't some kind of like unique thing to black people. Because for example, Ryan Garcia's people are from Mexico and they running from the cartel all the goddamn time. That's their own people doing it. Now, mind you, that's the creation of the United States government. The United States government completely fucked up south of the border and created a situation where cartels can just rule over people and stuff. And it's sad because I don't make light of that situation. It's sad to see these people having to run from their homes because these cartels are just fucking everything up. But if Ryan Garcia wants to stick with that topic, it's his people doing that shit though. So you can't be throwing that stuff around saying that this one race is specifically violent towards each other and it's a problem when every race is violent towards themselves in a lot of ways. So I think that's why I took away the most out of what he said. Not the N-word. I didn't give a fuck about that. But it's kind of like, hey, stop trying to paint the picture like violence against another person, like violence against races against each other isn't some unique thing to black folks. So I was, damn, man. Get your shit together, man. Stop talking. Go away for some years. People are going to forget, man. That's the thing. When you do fucked up shit, just disappear from the limelight for a little bit. The world's going to move on. People have short-term memories. Come back some years later, maybe with your head on straight, and then, I don't know, try to win back like the people's confidence again, because he fucked up on them. Them Twitter spaces be gassing people up, bro. I'll be sitting on some Twitter spaces. People be saying some wild shit. I'm like, man, you don't think a lot of stuff is not like being recorded or something? Like people are watching, like calm down.
Like a live podcast on Twitch, you know, like you don't think this shit, like even if I hit stop right now, it still exists.
Right.
Everything is in the air right now. Like what I said right now is are in air.
Hell yeah! I'm scared to run for president. This shit is out here.
Yeah, we can't escape. You hit live, done deal. Your shit's out there, and it's. If somebody wanted to target you, they'd be like, beep, boop, beep. He said this on this podcast on Twitch on this day, this hour.
At this time. And he meant it. And then you got to explain yourself.
Uh-huh.
So Ryan Garcia, that, like I said, Twitter spots, like certain spots of Twitter's already call him racist Garcia, so he got to shake this shit off, because, man, because De La Hoya had it.
Just gotta fucking log off, man. Log off, go somewhere else for like a year. Like,
get off the damn internet.
Yeah, let somebody else get some heat, you know?
Yeah.
Because he said he's like, I'm going to rehab. Like, dude, you're still out there. Like, he was at, like, his brother's boxing fight, which his brother lost. Got fucked up by Vargas' kid. I don't know if you used to watch Fernando Vargas fight when he fought.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, he has a son that knows how to box, too.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and I seen his son box before. I was like, oh, shit. You know, Vargas' son knows how to fight for real.
Yeah, and Fernando Vargas.
I know, like, Ryan Garcia, he has a little brother that fights, but he doesn't give off the vibe like, all right, you're like a real Mexican fighter like that. And then if you watch the fight, Vargas' son fucking went to town on him.
Nice.
Pieced him up.
Damn, I didn't know he had a kid. I know his kid good, though, because Fernando Vargas was pretty dope.
Yeah, he's legit boxer, legit everything. His stance, everything, his style, everything is like textbook. Like, that's a real boxing family.
Good shit, yeah. The fundamentals. Yes.
Yeah.
I love to see it.
That's real boxing right there. I don't know what like Ryan and his brother's doing. I know they're boxers too. Like, they probably whip both our ass, but
they would fucking wreck me. They would destroy me.
But I think me and you could beat them.
I'll beat Ryan Garcia if we team up.
Yeah, like both of us.
Oh yeah, man. What is he, like 135?
We'll take one of them each,
133?
Well, you gotta know, like, he'll hit you real fast, but I'm gonna grab his legs, right?
Yeah.
Can't protect both parts.
Right?
You're a human.
At all times.
You're a human. You say you're a god, but then, all right, you're a god in a human body. You're still operating like a Honda Civic.
Right?
Well, we can take it down. It's like, I'm a god. Like, we're all gods.
In
here. Like, oh, shit.
In here.
Say no more.
Right? But
yeah, is that it for that one?
Yeah. Just get your shit together, bro.
All right, I got another one. Talk about ghosts again.
Yay.
All right, so a teacher sleeps in a haunted classroom to dispel spooky legend at an Indian school.
So, like on an Indian reservation?
No, like Indian, like in India. So.
Not this, but this.
Yeah, the little bead.
Right on.
But yeah, so like there's this school where these students were like, hey, this classroom is haunted. Like this is like the buzz around like this classroom for years and years. Every student in that class is like, hey, this one particular classroom is haunted. And then out come this new teacher, right? His name is Nuthal Ranvidar. He was let's say like he's like a sub teacher, right? He heard about this story, the mysteries about, hey, this particular classroom is haunted. So that caught his curiosity. And then like while he was teaching there, this big old tree like randomly fell outside the school, and then the students were like, see, we told you there's evil spirits here. So then the teacher knew that Rambadar. He was like, all right, I'm gonna debunk this, and then I'm gonna actually sleep in this classroom overnight, and then let's see what happens to me. So he camped out into the classroom, in the creepy classroom on a Friday night, because next day everybody's off and shit, and students were actually outside of the school waiting to see what happens. So he slept inside the classroom on Friday night, and then the next morning he rolled out. He was like, hey, this place is like ghost free. Like, I slept so good. Like, it's like nothing happened. The kids were like, what?
He's probably possessed.
And then he was like, hey, I debunked the school haunted myth. So that was that story.
Damn.
The kids were like, what?
So the ghost ain't real?
That dude lying. It's just one night. Sleep another night.
Right? I thought it'd be like Monday, Saturday, Sunday. You really gotta test it.
Yeah, he gotta do like a whole investigation, man. Like, Travel
Cameras
Channel,
and
stay
shit.
there for the whole weekend. Be like, hey, I'm gonna just stay at this class for the whole weekend, and then, see if there's anything weird. Bob said he's an adult. Yeah, he probably
possessed now.
Yeah, you know how some people, they just don't see nothing weird at all. Like, it's just vibrating different frequency to where he just don't see it.
Right, yeah.
And you can't even explain that. If you're on a different radio station, how can you explain, like, hey, I'm listening to like Q100? Oh, you can't hear that. You can't hear Linkin Park is on. You're hearing something else.
Right.
You're hearing S Club 7.
Club.
Yeah.
Ain't no party like S Club party. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you can't hear it. You're a wrong station.
Oh, how do I know that fucking song? Jesus.
But yeah, I think it's all about, like, wherever your frequency is at. Like, you can see different shit, like.
Kids are closest to it, man. They just got here.
Yeah, kids probably like the closest to it because their mind hasn't been tainted by society yet. They're still innocent, like vulnerable. Like, they don't know about all this other stuff yet. That's why they're so. Well, they basically came out from another portal, right? So they're still closely connected to the other side.
Through a portal, man. That's the best way to explain it. You came out through a portal, but
yeah, and they're still
that's crazy as hell.
They're still connected until they get programmed. Right.
Until the umbilical cord is cut.
Yeah, and then they get programmed by the parents and the school, and they're like, "All right, new program. Stop sucking your thumb. New program." So they forget everything, right? So they forget about the whole. Oh shit! Goodbye, imaginary friend.
Yeah.
Because you remember that picture of Ruby, right, with the ghost?
Yeah.
Well, like, I saw her a few months ago. She's like a big ass kid now, and I was like, I haven't seen her in a long time, so she's like a big kid now. And I told her, I was like, hey, remember at that one house, like, you took a picture of the ghost? And she's like, what ghost? I was like, yeah, I was like, you took a selfie with a ghost. It was like your friend. She's like, I don't remember that. And then I was trying to look for the picture, I couldn't find it, but I was trying to show it to her. I was like, yeah, you took a picture with a ghost, but she says she don't remember nothing.
Dude, it be like that, man. That's like with my boy Carter. I want to ask his nephew. I was like, I want to ask him. He in college now and shit, but so it's gonna be a stretch to even he can remember. Because if Ruby ain't gonna remember, I know he ain't gonna remember. But I want to tell. I want to ask him, like, you remember we saw you in the corner one time and you was talking to the wall? Because at first it was like an imaginary friend couldn't even fit in between the wall and the space. You was that close. So who you talking to? It was bad.
Yeah, like.
I want to know these.
Who things. You talking to?
I know, but it could be like one of those things, man. Like, say for example, like how many times we've had dreams, right? And then we wake up from the dream, and then within the first 5 minutes, we start to forget the dream. You're like, oh, shit, I don't even remember how it started or whatever, but I remember bits and pieces. It might be just how life is too. It's like as you get older, these experiences, this connection to the world, it feels like a dream to you, and it just slowly fades away until eventually we got to return back to the source.
Yeah. Dude, this whole life could be like just one big ass dream, like in pieces, right?
Yeah.
And then when we die, it just goes, it all comes together, and you're like, holy shit.
Because they said that I don't know what was it, psychedelic or was it? Oh no, it was when people have the existential crisis when they
A midlife
things when they
crisis.
not like a midlife crisis, but it's like when they get. I can't remember if it was we talked about it before on a show. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember if it was a shroom or something, but it basically causes people to like experience death, but it's like it feels like they're being displaced from their body, where like it's not about them being an individual. It's like they feel connected to like all life. It's like they're seeing everything on Earth all happening at once. It's like it's like when you're first entering death. It's like that kind of. They say it's like that's. They say that's the experience that when you die, that's what happens. You feel like, okay, it's not an individual thing. It's not like a me, I thing. It's kind of like I'm back at the source of whatever
Right.
energy we come from or whatever, and you're realizing like, oh shit, we're on this planet and da 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 da. You're seeing it like almost from like a narrative perspective now, and not from first person view of having to live here.
Yeah, you're
At
seeing
least
it
that's
from
why I
like
heard that.
the outside looking in now. You're like, holy shit! Like,
Yeah,
you see the
yeah.
the whole spectrum of like everything that's happening.
Yes, all at once too. This is like supposed to be like it's like overload. You just all this shit hitting you.
That's like a really good mushroom trip. If your mushroom trip hits right, you see everything from like the point of view of like, let's say you're watching a play out,
Yeah,
and you're like one of the directors, and you're watching it play out, like holy shit. And then you start to think, you start to question, like, is this reality? Is it just like one big play? We're just all playing it out.
Right.
Everybody's playing their role.
hell yeah. Everybody's
But they don't even
everybody's got
know
a
like they're
play.
playing like a role, but they're, let's say like somebody's playing the role of a bully and he needed to bully you in 5th grade. That was his job, was to bully you. And then it, you know, because it's all about soul growth. How do you handle
Right.
situations?
Challenges.
It could be all that. It could be somebody who plays like the father that says, I'm going to buy some milk, and he never comes back. That was his only role.
play,
So
and
that
then you
child
and then
has
there's
to
your
grow up
story.
without a father. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's one of those things.
Yeah. Character development.
Yeah, character development,
Yeah.
or you get into a relationship and you know your boyfriend beats you up,
Yeah, heartbreak or whatever, and then
liver shot.
then life and then life goes on, and this is another story for you.
Another lesson, and then you talk about it on the podcast later, like, yeah, I got my ass whooped.
Okay?
Boyfriend too strong.
Got stomped out.
I kept going back. Got beat up. But yeah, all one big lesson, one big play. We're all in the play. Everybody, you're like in the play. Like you're a co-host. You're playing co-host. Bob, she's playing as like my sister. But who knows? And they're like, holy shit, I'm just playing a character. I'm just playing a brother. Oh, I'm playing a sister.
A lot of times I'll be thinking like this is straight up like Truman Show shit for aliens. So like this is like, okay, God, this is a reality show. We're gonna see how these people who are the same species have to learn how to work with each other.
Yeah.
Let's watch it. Let's watch this unfold. And it's just like fucking chaos and mayhem, and we have good moments where people come together and unite, and then it's like, okay, more bombs.
Season 7,500. Episode
Right.
12 million. Like,
And in
damn.
alien years, this is like 20 years because aliens probably live way longer than us. So this is probably like this show's actually been on air for like 20 seasons in alien time.
Plot twist, we are the aliens.
Right? Right.
And then we just come in like, because like they say like time is not linear, right? Like time
Yeah.
is like it's all happening all at one time. It's
All at the
not,
same
there's
time,
no
yeah.
time. Like there's already like me in another timeline where I'm already super old, and there's me in a timeline where I'm still a baby. Like it's all
Mm-hmm. Right.
happening one time.
Simultaneously.
Everything.
Yeah,
It's
man.
us in alien form happening in a different timeline. But it's all happening together. I don't think there's no
Simultaneously,
count, dude. It's just happening.
Right. It's like this dude in this that movie Watchmen. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, but this dude named Dr. Manhattan. He basically got turned into like this godlike being that's like, he's like godlike. He's straight up godlike. But he talks about like he perceives time of like the past, present, and the future happening all at the same time. So when he's
Right.
talking in conversation sometimes with somebody, he'll be standing in somebody's face talking to him, and he'll see images of them like what they look like in a coffin.
Damn.
Like, oh shit, like I'm seeing everything on, like, oh, then like, oh, I see you back like 15 years ago when I first met you. I'm seeing this happening right now, right in my very own eyes. I'm also standing right here talking to you, and I'm actually looking at you now in your coffin as they lower you into the ground. It's like boom, boom, all at once.
Damn,
And then I
that's
guess like
crazy.
in the story, he experiences so much, he kind of becomes like a robot. He's kind of like, look, everybody's gonna die eventually. He kind of becomes like completely nihilistic, and he doesn't care about humanity at some point because he's kind of like, it's all the same.
Yeah, that's crazy. That reminds me of another story of a lady, right? She has a family, she has a baby, she has a husband, but her life is so miserable, right? Everybody think her life is perfect, but her life was so miserable that she ended up deciding to commit suicide. So she wrote like a letter to her husband and everything, to her kid that's still a baby, and you know everything that she said. She's so unhappy she's gonna kill herself. So she wrote the letter, she dropped it off, and then she took her car, her truck, right, and then she drove it like into the river. And before she drove into the river, she took a whole bunch of pills and then drank a whole bunch of alcohol because she actually didn't even know how to kill herself. She actually looked it up on the internet first, and then she's like, okay, this is how I'm gonna do it. So she took a whole bunch of medication, she drank a whole bunch of alcohol, and then she drove into the river. She did this on the weekend too. So in that area, nothing happens on the weekend. But so like what happened in that weekend that she did it, it happens to be like a special construction site in that area, where like you know, the people doing construction, they were working in the area and they actually saw her vehicle there. So they're like, holy shit, like, is somebody in that vehicle? So my ears started ringing. I'm onto something. So they went and they took her vehicle, they took her out, and then long story short, they were able to get her out, get her back alive, and then she's back in the hospital. But during the time where she did actually die, she said like when she started to feel like she was dying, like from drowning and stuff, she felt everything vibrating like really fast, like, and then she was somewhere else. She said she didn't feel the pain, but she felt like she was somewhere else, right? And then there was like this entity speaking to her, saying, you know, like telling her like, hey, like you know, your time is not done. Like there's still people that need you back there. And then she felt all the pain, like from her body, everything, from her depression, everything. She couldn't feel nothing no more. Everything was like off her shoulder. She's like, okay, I feel free. She's like, I don't want to go back. And they're like, no, you got to go back. She's like, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to the life. And then they told her, they showed her something, like, you know how we're talking about everything exists on all the same time, right? Her son, that was a baby, right? She saw her son like in a future. They showed her a timeline where her son was in the future, where he was like an adult now. And then the son he was like sad and stuff. He's like, man, I wish mom was here. I wish mom was here for this, because the son was going through some shit too, like when he was older. Right. And then they told her like, see, like I told you, like there's still people on this planet that needs you to be alive. Even though you don't know it yet, because you don't know how your child's gonna grow up. Like you're a kid, your child needs you when he's older. And then, you know, she felt that. She's like, okay, I'll come back. And then that's when they rescue her, and you know, they brought her back to life, the hospital, everything. And that was her story, her NDE.
Damn.
So they showed her another timeline of her son being like, hey, I still need you, mom. And then that clicked, and she was like, oh shit, give me back on her.
I can't leave my boy. Yeah, because that's what they say too. Like those, like, and it's not like she's like just a straight up depressed woman, man. It's just like one of them things. It's kind of like, you know, don't try to fix a temporary problem with a permanent solution. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't get that second chance. It seemed like she was able to tap into the other side and be able to like, oh shit, like I kind of. Let me put this in reverse a little bit. Let me stick around. Like, this is my lesson. I'm here for more than just me. Like, you know.
Right. Like, exactly. It's more than just her. Like her story. They're like, there is other people that's involved, like within your story, that you have to help too. Like, they're trying to make her like, don't be selfish. This is not all about you. Like, you're still playing like a role. Like, if you're in a play, like the play doesn't get completed, you have to help your son in this play too. He's still alive. And like, you better clock back in, girl. Yeah. Because who's gonna play that role? Because somebody is gonna play that role, right, of the mom, and it's gonna be somebody that doesn't even want to clock in and play that role.
And it might be worse. Might touch the kid, beat the kid. These things happen, man.
Because usually, when you get somebody just to fill in a spot, they just do the bare minimum. Even at a job,
especially when it ain't theirs.
Like, oh, they're just paying me to do a job. It's like that. Like, it just ain't my shift. It's like that. They're like, I'm first shift. I'm not second shift.
right?
Yeah, it's like that. Like, fuck this. I ain't cleaning this shit up. But then it's like that. Like, somebody end up playing the role as the parent. And then it might be some crazy ass mom.
Don't even want to do it.
Yeah,
sometimes
like,
people, sometimes people just want to adopt just so they can get like a check from the government. So it's like,
But the crazy thing is, like, I don't think
some type of foster care.
Yeah, I think like when they're playing the role, they don't know they're playing the role, but they're already like the fucked up role that plays it. Because the soul knows, but the person doesn't know. It's complicated.
Shit, man. It sounds like some real divine intervention shit since that them workers about that river too.
Yeah.
Like it's all connected.
I gotta take a leak so bad.
All right, man.
All right, be right back. All right, what else we got, Chris? Unholy Jesus.
Got one more story. It's about my favorite insect, motherfucking ants. I love ants. Ants are the
speaking about ants, before you continue, you ever heard the story about like the Native American Indians? How they did this podcast with people, right? And then like they don't have contact like with the outside world. So they don't even know like people were talking about aliens like that. Like there's no depiction of an alien, right? But then they showed them an image of an alien that supposedly is a real picture of an alien. And then they show them the picture. It's like oh shit, that's like the ant people. Mm-hmm. And they said like what you just showed us is like the people that live underground. They call them like the ant people, or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they call them that, but they said that they live underground and they're basically like ants, but big human size. And if you look at a ant face up close, it looks like the big eyeball aliens, dude. If you think about it.
Oh yeah, you got them big ass eyes. Makes sense. Ants, man.
All right, let's hear about these ants.
Ants, man. So yeah, ants are incredible insects, man. If you look up how ants work and operate, man, dude, I spent hours on YouTube watching shit about ants, including the one video you sent me one time about how the guy has them living in a colony, and then he makes them like kind of go to war with. Yeah, to make them go to war with each other, man. Crazy shit, man. Ants, how they work as a function, as a society, is unlike, to this day, scientists are kind of like, perplexed by how like, oh shit, they can function on they have societies, they have like hierarchies. It's crazy. And but I also too I found this about ants as well. They have like a very bad vision. So a lot of stuff they rely on like sense of smell. That's what they rely on the most. And when ants walk, ants always try to never walk across each other's path, because since they follow everything by scent, sometimes they can get like trails mixed up to where they can start doing this thing called a death spiral. If you ever look it up,
yeah,
I've never seen this before. Yeah, you see like ants just marching in a circle. Mm-hmm. They'll march until they'll die because they're following a scent.
Yeah, they go in like an infinite loop.
Yeah, infinite loop, and they'll just keep going and going and going until they all die, and then and that eventually kills an entire colony, because since they follow everything by scent, they think they're going in the right direction, but in reality, they're just walking into their deaths, and they'll just walk until they're exhausted and die. So they got weird shit be happening with ants, man. But now they're finding out that ants can now perform amputees on other ants, like cut off another ant's leg and then actually heal another ant with a missing leg. It's crazy.
I'm showing out.
Bro,
damn.
Yes, I got this on IFL Science, and they're saying that it's the first known case of sophisticated amputation in animals outside of humans. So, it says that it says that the science team went out and went to look up, check out these ants, and they saw hey, some of these ants are got missing legs, and they have a doctor ant, if you will, that performs these type of surgeries. It says the team found that the ants would assess the injury and either simply clean the wound or clean the wound followed by a full amputation, which takes about as long as 40 minutes.
Damn.
And the study injuries to the femur, aka the upper leg, were always cleaned and then amputated, while injuries with the tibia, their lower legs, only received cleaning and were never amputated. Moreover, the survival rate of ants with either injury was remarkably high. So if an ant got an injured leg, Dr. Ant on the case, they bite it, break it off. They apply I think they said too, they apply some a medicine sometimes on it too, some kind of they'll secrete some kind of saliva on it. Yeah, something like that. They secrete it right on the wound, and it's
local
actually
anesthesia.
Yeah, no, it's straight like, hey, like that's what they do. They do that right on the damn.
Now.
You good? Let's go.
Let me get that that left femur. We're gonna get this installed on your boy Yosemite.
Right.
Or what's his name? Flick from Bug's Life. Get this leg back on here.
I think it's Flick. Yeah, Melissa just watched it the other day. I think it was Flick.
Yeah, it's Flick. Throwback.
Yeah, but it says femur injuries where they always amputate the leg had a success rate around 90 to 95%.
Damn.
For the tibia, where they did not amputate, it still received about a survival rate of 75%. So, like, yeah, they perform amputations on each other when it's injured, and then they just keep it moving, man. Like, hey, you good? Let's keep going.
So, like, these scientists, where they're watching these ants, like, they're witnessing this happen in real time, where these ants are doing these amputations and doing these surgeries locally.
Yes.
They were just watching them with a video camera. Yeah,
just observing them probably just all throughout their, like, because I know, like, at least with these nature channels, they'll keep cameras up in the location in the Amazon and just watch how ants work for, like, fucking weeks on end, how they operate, how they go up trees. That's how they find out about the whole, that's how they find out about the cordyceps, the things that causes, like, the cordyceps, like the cordyceps virus or whatever it was. Yeah. It comes from the fungus and it affects them, turns them to zombies. Yeah, they just monitoring it. Yeah, you just monitor ants long enough, they start like learning new shit they had never seen before. And this is one of them things because it's like the whole the death spiral. You just one day they saw like, why the hell they keep going in a circle? And it's like, oh, because they follow sense of smell, and they kind of they just put things together and realize like, oh shit, they must not be that really good at. They really probably don't have good eyesight if they have to rely on their smell a lot. And so, it says the same researchers that made this discovery have previously found that another ant species can treat wounds with antibiotics in their saliva. So, yeah, ants are, like, built to survive this shit, man.
See, they know how to, like, make stuff, like, within their natural abilities and within nature.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, us humans, right, top of the food chain, we're taking it to another level where we're able to use stuff synthetically. But I don't know where we get these chemicals from. I'm telling you, man. You know where these chemicals come from? I'm just going to say it. From these damn aliens, dude. From other planets. And they're dropping this shit off like fucking a payload. Here you go, China. Here's all these chemicals. Pollute your planet. We don't care. We don't care about that planet. Suck that planet dry. Here's all these chemicals. And here's how you make this medicine.
Damn.
Boom. And then you get all these synthetic drugs that's coming out from China. Name brand, name drugs, everything.
Damn.
This is what I saw on a mushroom trip. I can't verify this. This is just what I saw. I can't verify it. But I know they poisoned this planet, dude.
Peek behind the curtains.
That's all I know. Something's wrong.
It just roll up as I think have ant infestations. Man, ants are cool until they get in your house. Because every summer, my parents have an issue with ants, man. Like in their kitchen, you'll leave something out for like 5 minutes. You come back, ants all over, man. It is wild.
Yeah, I have like rogue ants, and they're big too. They're buff. They come in the house buff and shit. And
big ass ones.
Solo missions. I was like, damn, this motherfucker just came. He came here in this house by himself.
Yeah.
Took his ass out.
He's shot. Like, I am the cavalry. I am back.
I was like, where's your friends at?
I am the friend. I am the friend.
You're like, you about to do something bad. You finish what you're eating.
Right?
Wait for him to digest it.
Yeah, I think they like. I never had an ant problem before, but I know at least at my parents' house, it seemed like they always run up in the house because it's getting too hot outside, so they just come rushing in. They go right where the sugar's at.
Dude, I remember a long time ago, like we used to live at these apartments in LA, right? And my brother, he was like, he saw ants like coming in like the doorway. He was like, holy shit, we gotta feed them. So he goes and gets sugar, and then he puts sugar all in the doorway. And then we're just watching the ants eat it. And then more ants came. I was like, I don't think this is a good idea. Like, I think we're gonna get in trouble for this. Because he was about to call a whole colony up to the damn apartment.
Remember After the video you showed me, is like the guy put like I don't know, it was like a little was that chicken nugget on the ground or something. The ant saw it, sniffed it.
Yeah.
He went back to the colony and he took the chicken nugget back and he came back and all the ants was like, the fuck?
They're like, they'll never trust him again.
Right?
Yeah, that's so dirty.
That shit was hilarious. They probably killed him for that, man. Ants don't play, man.
That's a crazy
Right.
story though. Like how ants are able to replace a whole limb.
Man, yeah, ants are wild, man. Every time I watch, ants are so fascinating to me, man. Like out of any like insect species, and I think it's just kind of how they operate and like how to like it's like a goddamn government. You got one queen, and I found out like you see some ants with wings, sometimes, but they got like little holes in them and shit. Those like they'll usually have holes in them. Those are like usually like those are like ants that eventually could become queen female ants because a queen always runs a colony. So they usually like after birth and they get their wings, they'll fly off. They can't fly for long because their wings are shit. You got holes in them and stuff, but they'll fly somewhere, and that's how they start colonies. I watch ant shit all the time, bro. Ants are
Yeah, dude,
fascinating.
ants are very fascinating, and it's crazy how like when you see like ant mounds like in your yard, right, and then you just grab like a whole pesticide thing, and then you just drop it all over the damn ant mound.
Just wipe them out. That's like thousands of them dead.
Yeah, I don't think they get wiped out, but they get the message. It's like, hey, here's a message. You guys gotta move.
Yeah, we gotta move. I know. I see some people put like oatmeal on that shit.
Oatmeal.
I heard because they'll grab like oatmeal. I heard they take it might be oatmeal, and they take it back to the queen, and it's supposed to like cause them to explode. I guess if they eat it. I don't know. I don't know how true that is, but
Humans are crazy, man. That's a million years of that, right? And then they evolve to aliens with the big head, with the big eyeballs.
I've read articles that talk about like if ants grew up to these like to the size of a children. I mean, well, it'd be impossible, but if they could, yeah, they would defeat us. There's more of them than it is of us than it is of humans on Earth. It's a lot more.
Ants?
Ants, man.
It
You ever
has
seen the
to be,
movie?
right?
You ever seen the movie Ants?
Like the animated series?
No, it's like an anime series. It's this movie called Ants. It's like it's like a Bug's Life, but for adult. It's like more adult aimed. It's like it's not like super adult, but it's more like it ain't Disney.
I don't know. Maybe.
It's a cool ass movie about this guy who's like I can't remember the full plot of it, but I remember I liked it a lot. Like back in the day, it's just like this ant that's trying to pretend like, oh, I'm actually this hero, but he's really not. But these ants are like fucking brutal though in this movie. They don't play. Bug's Life was cute.
Yeah, I like Bug's Life. That shit was real.
Yeah,
It was legit.
I like Bug's Life too.
But if you guys like really like ants, it's like this YouTube channel. It's like Canada. It's called Canada Ants, something like that. And then he has like a whole he take care of a bunch of ants, like in like he
the farms.
He builds like the houses for them and everything. Like he made so much money off of that channel where he actually bought a separate house just to house ants.
This is the same guy you put me on, right? The one with the yeah. He's great at what he does, man. He be having like almost like plot lines going on with these ants. I'm like, oh, this
the
like
commentary is perfect, and then what the ants are
it's like
doing with this commentary, it's perfect.
when I first started watching, I was like, oh, there's no way he's gonna let these ants kill each other. I was like, oh shit, they do be going to war.
Yeah, like one of his old videos where like it got me hooked on it was when he was like, because like on the outside of the cage of his little ant farm, he put baby powder so they can't crawl over it. But he was like, I think they figured it out. He was like, the ants, they created like a ladder, like within like the casing of the cage. And then they went over the baby powder. They created a ladder over the baby powder because they knew like if they climb up on the wall, the baby powder's gonna not come back down. So they figured it out. So yeah, he had to create like his whole new contraption to block them in because the ants were too smart. They're like, okay, they figured a way out. They created like a damn a man-made ladder or an ant-made ladder. They climbed on each other and they went over the baby powder.
Genius.
He was like, holy shit.
They got too smart. I truly think they are the ultimate soldiers, man. They'll fight. They fight like insane. They work together very well.
Yeah, they bite hard.
They bite hard, man. So many times when I was a kid, I'd be outside playing football. Done stamped. It's like stepped in a damn ant pile. Got ate up.
Yeah, I remember stepping in the ant pile and then seeing all the ants crawl on my shoes. I was like,
Man.
holy shit, it's over.
I used to kick my shoe off without even taking it off. I used to kick that shit off.
Yeah, like, fuck, it's over.
Them ants were probably hanging onto the shoe like, yeah.
Yeah,
Just flew through the air.
Like, thinking about ants, right? I haven't seen a red ant in a long time. Are they still around? Like those red ants?
Yeah, the fire ants, you mean? Yeah,
Fire
I don't
ants.
know. Yeah, I haven't seen them since I was a kid, to be honest. That's most of the time I remember seeing
like, same here. I haven't seen them since I was a kid. I was like, I don't see red ants around, like in my neighborhood or nothing. And I haven't seen a red ant in a long time.
Yeah.
You think they got beat up?
You got wiped out?
They got wiped out by the Crips?
I don't know. That shit. Maybe they migrated. I don't know.
If they migrated, it might be somewhere where it's not a lot of people.
Yeah, because I do remember it was one time, it was like red ants all over the damn place. Seemed like at least when I was a child and a teenager and then as an adult. Maybe it's because I don't play outside as much. Maybe that might be it. What it is. But even then, I don't see no red ants.
That might be it.
Yeah, we be on adult shit, so maybe we ain't out there. Maybe they are out there still, but
yeah, we weren't online too much. We're like, well, what red ant?
Where's all the ants? Like, well, we don't go outside and look, so we ain't outside playing.
That's right.
Anymore.
We're not even out there. Damn, is that it for the night?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good episode for an episode that's been built with the research for a few hours.
Look, man. Lemons to lemonade.
It was a rough week.
Adult life be adulting, boy. That shit don't stop.
No, I'm a child, man. I'm a child.
Child in here.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
I don't want to grow up.
All right, guys. Next Tuesday, right?
Yes, the 16th. Yes, sir. I had to look at my calendar. Should be going on.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us tonight for episode 191. We'll catch you guys next week on Tuesday. Peace out. Adios.
Peace.